Hi, I'm Valerie. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to teach you how to make the most amazing chocolate chip cookies, the most decadent chocolate chip cookies that you have ever had. This recipe fell into my hands probably the late 80s, early 90s, and it became extremely popular throughout the holidays. I would make it as gifts and bring it as a hostess gift, and it actually, as people grew to love the cookies more than me, they would see me coming and say, "You have the cookies?" before they even greeted me. So each time I make these cookies for somebody new and different, they all have the same reaction. So here we go. What you're going to need is you're going to need your food processor. You're going to need your standing mixer. However, if you don't have a standing mixer, back in the day when I first started making them, I did it by hand. It's a lot more labor intensive, can be done. This is just so much more easy, or so much easier. So let's start with what you're going to need, the ingredients. You're going to need, this is the secret ingredient, kind of. You're going to need oats. Make sure you get old-fashioned oats, not 1 minute or instant, because yeah, you can use them, but the cookies don't taste as good. The consistency is a little different. So we need our oats. You're going to need, obviously, chocolate chips. And you're going to need a big block Hershey bar. It's not chocolate overkill, I promise you. You're going to need also 8 ounces of butter, softened. I soften mine sometimes. I will preheat the oven, and you're going to need to preheat your oven to 350. I soften mine when I preheat the oven. I put it on top of the stove and soften it that way. If I'm in a hurry, I will put it in the microwave for 15-20 seconds. So you're going to want it kind of the consistency that your knife goes in and comes right out. So you're going to want it kind of like the consistency of whipped cream, maybe a little thicker than that. You're going to need 2 eggs. You are going to need a cup of brown sugar, 2 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon of baking powder. I always go a little bit more so I don't scrape the top when I get the teaspoon. I make it a little bit lumpy to give it that just a little bit more height and consistency in the consistency of it, and a teaspoon of vanilla. So here's what we're going to do. I usually grind these oats into a fine powder, about the same consistency as flour, maybe a little less. So let's go ahead and do that. Sorry, a little noisy, but it doesn't take that long, maybe 15-20 seconds. And here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine all the dry ingredients together in one big bowl before we put it in the mixing bowl. So we're going to put the ground up oats into that bowl with the dry ingredients. So here goes our 2 cups of flour in with it. Oh, and this is about 2 1/4 cups. And I say about because I kind of play around with it. 2 1/4 is just about perfect. So 2 1/4 cup of oats ground finely and 2 cups of flour. We'll put that in. And then the half teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon of baking powder. And then I just kind of mix it, kind of get it all mixed in there. Good. Okay, so that's good enough. Put that aside. Now we're going to start over here at the mixer. Let me see if I can bring this into the shot a little bit more. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to start with the cup of sugar. We put this in. And then in with the sugar, we're going to mix your softened butter right in there. And for the mixer, we're going to start with this tool. So stick that one on. And I just kind of put it in the middle. Well, I'm on like 4, 6 right now. You can do it a little less, you can do a little more. So once that's all mixed in, again, maybe about 20 seconds or so, what I do is I kind of lift it up. And then we're going to put in, so we're going to put in the brown sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar. Put that in. Again, mix it up. 15, 20 seconds, and then what I do is I will stop it and I will take my spoon and scrape the sides. Scrape the sides for a bit. Let me put this on a napkin here. And then, so it's going to kind of look like, let me get a scoop. It's going to kind of look like that right now. Alright, and I keep it going, and then I start putting in the wet ingredients. So we're going to do the 2 eggs. I'm actually going to break it into here, just in case you don't want shells. And we'll break the other one. There we go. Okay, so now we have our 2 eggs. Put that in there. And we're going to put in our teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm going to stop that again, and I'm going to, hold on. I'm going to scrape the sides one more time, get that vanilla that kind of ended up on the side, get that down in there. And we're at a consistency of kind of like this right now. Okay, so let me put that in. Now I'm going to put this little collar thing on with the chute on it. It's alright if you don't have this. For me, if you know me, you know I'm a little OCD and a neat freak. So what happens is now I am going to get another wooden spoon and I'm going to start putting this in. Actually, let's see, this is I'm going to keep this on about 3. So we're just going to slowly put the dry ingredient mixture of the flour and the oatmeal or the oats. Now I don't like oatmeal at all, but in this cookie it's amazing. I guess when it gets, you know, finely ground, you don't really taste it at all, or it gives us that, just that, I don't know, maybe that is the secret ingredient that makes the cookie so decadent, along with the chocolate. All right, we're just about done with this. Okay, I'm gonna turn that up a little bit because it's getting very thick in there. Okay, again, I'm gonna stop it. and scrape the sides. Okay. Just a little bit more. Okay, here's our consistency. Kind of like Play-Doh. And we're just about done. And I kind of lift it up while it's spinning to get everything off of the tool, because we're going to change tools now. All right, so we're going to take this tool off. And we're going to add the chocolate. But let me just show you how we're going to cut the, see if you can see over here, how we're going to cut the chocolate bar into, I've done most of it here, so it's going to be kind of in little chunks like this. There you go. So let me just, I just use a simple knife, and I just take the bar and break it into 4, and then I just kind of cut like this, turn it, and cut it into the chunks. There we go. And I will just, so I'll add the chunks in with the chips, and I'll add these chunks in too. Get all the nice chocolate crumbs in there. And then I just kind of take my knife and do that. And then you just want to dump it all in. So we're going to put this tool on. And then don't forget to lock it, otherwise it pops up because it's very thick. So we're going to just do it maybe 5 or 10 seconds. And then I kind of lift it. And we've got it all off as it goes flying. Now, if you want, you can scrape it off like this, or you can lick it off, depending on if you are a batter licker or not. I know some people don't like to lick the batter because of the raw egg in it, but honestly, I've been licking batter since I was a little kid, and so far so good. I will refrain from doing that today. Okay, let's put this over here in the sink. And I'm going to show you the consistency of it. Hang on 1 second. We got a little bit on the floor here. Okay. So here's the consistency. Now comes the fun part. Now people always ask me, let me just move some of these things out of the way. People always say to me, how do you get them? If you've seen my cookies and you have had the opportunity to eat them, people always say to me, well, how do you get them so uniform and symmetrical? And I always joke, because there's really no simple answer to it, or maybe the answer is so simple. You know, it's just in how you roll the dough. But what I usually tell people is I lick my palms before I do it. So, and then I start doing it. But no, I really don't. What you want to do is you want to make sure, before you cook, obviously, you guys all know, wash your hands, right? Former preschool teacher, we always had to wash our hands before anything. So wash your hands. Make sure your hands are clean, dry, and cool. Because if you have warm, it doesn't sound nice, but warm, sweaty hands, the dough is going to all stick to you. So I've washed my hands before, and now we take a big tablespoon. That's what I use, and I just dig in. I get a hunk about like yay, and then take a little bit off, and then I just back and forth, kind of like a meatball. If you don't make meatballs, maybe you've played with Play-Doh. I've done both. I'm definitely not a cook. I'm more someone who likes to bake. And then we're going to put it on our, you're going to need your cooking spray. We're going to put it on our big cookie sheet. And I usually get 8 cookies on this sheet. And this batch is going to make, this batch is going to make about a 14 to 18 cookies depending on the size. I usually stay about golf ball size, so you can see in my palm how they are. And like I said, I get 8 on here. So normally, if you guys, I wasn't here with you guys, I'd be, when I pick this little piece off because I feel the ball is going to be too big, it usually goes in my mouth. But I'm not going to do that today. All right, so I have 3 on there. So anyway, we're going to take a break, and when I come back, we're going to put it in the oven at 350. Here they are, fresh out of the oven. This is what they're going to look like. Beige, a little golden brown on the edges. So we'll let those cool for a bit. And I'm going to put in the last 2. I'm using 2 smaller cookie sheets. So 6 here, 3 here. That's the end of the batter. So we have 12, 18, we have 21. So we get 21 cookies out of that batch. Okay, I'll see you in a few minutes when we put them on the plate, and then we'll go eat. Okay, the cookies are now complete, all put on my Nora Fleming platter. They're all cooled, ready to eat. So I am going to take my cookie and my tea, and I'm going to go off, and I'm going to have a nice little snack. Happy eating.